Hey kids, are you ready to start? We're going to do lesson 13 today. So lesson 13 comes after the mid-module assessment for module 6, and we are going to be talking a little bit about triangles, but very specifically right triangles. Right triangles are going to help us with our geometry today. We're going to be recognizing how to make parallel lines and what makes them parallel on a coordinate grid. So very important that you understand that a right triangle has one angle that is 90 degrees. It's going to have a square corner like that. Okay, in addition to all these other types of triangles and these attributes that you need to know, right triangles are going to be in use today. Now, in your workbook, you should have the lesson 13 templates that you can take a look at and practice with before we actually do lesson 13. It's going to be pretty quick today. Well, I always say that. I'd like to think it's going to be quick, but it's going to just take a few minutes actually to do the work once you get the big idea. So lesson 13 has template 1, which for your new workbooks is on page 115. And when you go here, in the teacher's manual, it says, oh, you know, kids can do this and they can cut it out and they can put these little templates all over your graph and blah, 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 and you can make your parallel lines. I'm not going to have you do that because I don't want you to cut the papers out, and you can do it if you want, like, I'm not going to stop you. But the whole point of working with these right triangles and the grid is to recognize that you can create a right triangle using a grid in pretty much any size dimension. And so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to be looking to make parallel lines that cut across different squares, okay? And you're going to try to find the corners where you can say go down 2 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, okay? And that will make a right triangle, and then you can match that to another place on the grid where you could say go down 2 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and make a parallel line over here that is parallel with this line. So we're using the grid to create a pattern, a number pattern that you can count to create these parallel lines. So this one would be down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and over 1. You can make your lines go in different directions, but you just want to kind of recognize that if you were to cut these out, and you may, that they all have different patterns, and yet you're creating these right triangles in every instance. And it's just a matter of what are you counting to, where are you going? Are you going up? Are you going down? Are you going across? And by how much? Okay, so that's what lesson 13 is all about. So finish making your right triangle models. You can slash right, you can slash left. Okay, that is template 1. Now we're done with that for now. Don't cut them out, because on the back of that is template 2, where we're going to apply this strategy. Okay, so take a look at template 2, and you've got these what appear to be parallel lines, but how can you know? How can you know if lines are parallel? So I've got line AB, or line segment AB, and line segment CD, and I want to know if they're parallel. So what you do is you look for right triangles, okay? And you look to see if they have the same pattern. So if I go from point A and I go down 2 and over 3, okay, so this is a height of 2, and what we're going to eventually call the base of 3. Okay, then we're starting to get ready to find the area of triangles using the words associated with the area of triangles, so the height and the base. So can I make a symmetrical triangle, right triangle, look, there it is, a symmetrical triangle from line segment CD? And if you can, go down 2 and over 3 and make another right triangle with the same dimensions, then what you have done is you have identified these two lines here, line segment AB and line segment CD, as being parallel. And if you want, I'll make it much neater, but it'll just be a skinny line. Okay, so now we have identified that these are parallel. Yes, parallel. Okay, so we're going to use this grid today to identify parallel lines. You can do the same activity with all of these pairs. You can pause the video and do it on your own and see if you can figure out, are these parallel? And then you can come back and then verify. So if you want to pause the video now, you go ahead. I'm going to blaze onward. So again, making parallel lines. Do these match? I don't know. Let's see. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Look at that. So they are, they seem to be equal triangles or symmetrical. And so then therefore you would say, yes, these are parallel. How about these two? They look a little wonky. Now, why do they look kind of off kilter? Because this one goes down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And this one only goes down 2 and over 1. If this is 3, this is 2, and they both go over 1, okay, that means that these are not parallel. Because, and they look a little wonky anyway, but it's only off a little on the top. Another way of checking these is that you can extend your lines, but you won't always have the ability to extend your lines. Okay, so if I put a lightly drawn line that goes that way, and I continue this line, line KL, look, they're not parallel. They cross way out here. It doesn't matter where they cross. If they eventually cross, then these are not parallel. Okay? L-L-E-L. How about these? Let's see what the strategy is here. Now, if I go down 2 and over 2, clearly this is a longer line, but they look parallel, so what's up with that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you might discover some properties, like, for example, if you equally double the dimensions, that you may be able to have parallel lines, okay? Now, what happens if they give you a point? Now, you likely will not see any of this on a test. I don't know how they would test you on this on a computer, honestly. But if you get to make it in person, then how would you create a parallel line, a line segment QR from one point? It's easy. Just take this point and go, okay, down 1, down 2, over 1. Make right triangles. Down 2, over 1, and now you know where the other endpoint is. And voila, if you want to see it in red, then this line segment here is parallel to this line segment here. Okay, so you're using the strategy of counting with by making these right triangles. Down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3, and you can move this so it gets out of the way. Okay, it doesn't need to be there, it's just helping us count. Draw the parallel lines. Yes, they're parallel. Yes, they're parallel. Okay, now sometimes, like on this other template, you remember those right triangles can come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, so even a skinny one like the one for B, it resembles this line segment FJ or JF. So look, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4 over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Put a point here. Create your parallel line. And there you go. It's parallel. These two are parallel, yes. At the very bottom, there's a more challenging line because it doesn't cross over but every like 4 or so points, and then it's a little bit off. It's a little off right here, but I think that's the best the book can do. So what you want to do is you want to identify places where this intersects at an exact point, and then figure out, okay, down 1/4, and then from an intersecting point, go down 1/4, and you can go make another parallel line, okay, from, say, here, go down like 2 points, okay, and then go down 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put a point here and a point here, and then you've got a parallel line, and you can pop that in there. Sorry, can you see that? Okay, so that is template 2, and that really is going to help you with lesson 13. So we're going to jump into the lesson because it's really quite basic. Now this is where it says use a right angle template and straight edge to draw at least 4 sets of parallel lines in the space below. This is where if you want to cut these out, you can draw parallel lines. I am not going to bother with that because the only way I'm going to do parallel lines would be like if I had, say, my ruler, or if I had my set square. I can do parallel lines. You know, you can make them any way you like, but I'm not using the set square. I'm not using these templates because I'm not going to cut it out. Okay, so you can if you want to. And look, at least 4 sets of parallel lines. There you go, 4 sets. But really the heart of the lesson is here using the grid. Now, how can you tell if these segments are parallel? Okay, you're going to use the grid to create the right triangles that will help you count. Down 2/2, down 2/2. Okay, parallel. How about the next one? Down 2/4, down 2/4, parallel. These look a little wonky. I wonder why. If this was to continue, okay, and I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3, would that work? Down, if this is my crossing point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I'd be kind of far out. This one doesn't even cross here, so I don't have like a matching point. So these are not parallel, no. Okay, now what about this one? I'm not going to use the end of this. I'm going to look and see how far apart they are at intersecting points. Okay, so I'm looking again for the intersecting points. Okay, if I put these on and I go down 1 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's like on the lower end, down 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even though this one extends down, I would say yes, these are parallel. Okay, so if you just kind of cut it off a little bit, they have the same formula. Again, down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, yes. How about these? Down 1, 2, 3, 4 over almost 1, down 1, 2, 3 over almost 1, no. And then this is kind of like this one. You have to look at where you can make those right triangles, and the corners can help you guide when you have something that is at an intersecting point. Okay, down 1 over 2 at an intersecting point, down 1 over 2 from here, and I would say yes, these are parallel. Okay, so again, use the grid to help you count. Now what about the back of lesson 13? You're going to use your straight edge to draw a segment parallel to each segment through the given point. So we're going to use the point that they give us, and then we're going to draw something that is parallel. Now it's nice and easy when they give you something that's right on a line, right? Because how hard is that? You just have to make sure your ruler is on the line. So parallel line, bam. I might even use a pen for this because you probably can't see it. So if this is on the line, that's really easy to make a line segment. It's just going to go through the point. This one is on the line. Easy peasy. Make your line segment right on the line. This is where it gets a little bit more challenging because you need to count. Okay, down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1, 2, 3. Put your point and then connect U to your new point. Okay, now you've made a parallel line. Let's do D. So here's point V, and this is not on any point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, my straight edge, and I'm going to extend this a little bit. I really want to use an intersecting point if it's available to me. Okay, where is an intersecting point? And see, look at how skinny that is. It hardly, okay, hopefully that's a little bit wider. Okay, so you're going to have to look at the closest crossing point. It's a little bit below this one, and it's a little bit above the next one. Okay, so if I go down almost 1 and over 1, 2, not quite 3, okay, put your point, and it has to go here. So I'm going to go backwards. 1, 2, almost 3, and then up almost 1. So if this is at the intersecting point just like this is, but 2 down, okay, so just below, then I'm going to go over the 1, 2, 3, and then up for 1, but almost. Okay, just below, like it was. Plot your point, connect and go through V. Oops. Okay, and then you have a parallel line to this line here. Okay, so you have to be pretty precise. It looks like I got a little bit below there. Okay, same thing here. We have to have a line that is parallel to this line, but where are my intersecting corners? If it doesn't quite hit the corner, you can extend it a little bit with a pencil. Make a right triangle, down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. Make a point for it to connect to. Try to be precise. Okay, now you have parallel line. I need another one over here connecting to Z. If I extend this, try to get to intersecting points. Okay, so this is going to be right about here. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 2. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 2. Put a point. Connect it. From Z to the corner. And there you have a parallel line. Okay, so last one is the draw 2 different lines parallel to line B. Okay, now you're going to look for intersecting points. If this is down 1 and over 3, okay, then I can go from any intersecting point like here. Okay, let's just go 1, 2 down and go down 1 and over 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I have 2 points, and I can have a line parallel below. But I can also do the same thing above, okay? So I don't just have to go one way. I could take a look at this and say, have an up and over. That's quite a stretch there. So up 1 over 3, actually a little bit more than 3, up 1 over 3. If we use the opposite of that, okay, so go 1, 2, up 1 over 3. Then I've got my points here, and I've got another parallel line. Okay, so voila, there's lesson 13, and it's all about making parallel lines and using the coordinate grid to count and make right triangles to help you identify where those parallel lines are. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you on the next one.